Welcome back to the Lars Larson Show. Pleasure to be with you on MLK Day 2019. Notre Dame has a lot to be proud of, but apparently they're not proud of the fact that on the college campus of Notre Dame, they have some murals that depict Christopher Columbus. Now, they're not talking about destroying the murals, but they are talking about covering them up, hiding them, so that nobody can see them anymore. And the university has sent out a letter from the university president, Reverend John Jenkins, said in a letter to students and faculty yesterday, on Sunday, that they were going to cover them up. And I thought I'd get an on-the-ground view from a fellow talk show host that I know well, good guy, Casey Hendrickson, who's on 95.3 MNC in Indiana. Casey, it's good to have you back on my show. What the heck is going on over at Notre Dame?
They've collectively lost their mind, Lars. This is you got 300 students who signed a petition. Okay, their student body's over 8,600, so we're talking about like 3.5%. And Reverend Jenkins, who by the way is a good guy, but just is, I think, a little tepid on taking a position on some of these issues. I would rather just make him go away so he doesn't have to deal with it. But he says we'll cover them up. Maybe we'll bring them back out and show them on special occasions and things like that, which, led me to ask my audience, like, okay, well, if they're that offensive, then why would you ever want to display them again if you want to go ahead and cover them up? But they say they want to preserve the artwork and that sort of stuff, but it really doesn't make any sense. It's just another attack on Columbus.
I mean, why would you, if you really thought you had something terribly offensive, I know a university professor who's black, he had the Black Studies unit at a university, and he had a whole collection of, stuff that most of us wouldn't want to take two looks at. It was, the old pictures of advertisements with a black man eating a slice of watermelon, stuff like that. He collected it because it was sort of part of his academic mission. But it's the kind of stuff that if somebody offered you one of those things, hey, you want to hang this on your wall at home? No, right. I don't. Yeah. He had a sort of an academic reason to have this stuff. But if you really had something offensive, like you find some old thing that your grandpa owned that was, like a lawn jockey or something, you'd say, I don't want that thing. Send it off to the junkyard. Get rid of it. And I agree with you. If they really think this stuff is that offensive, why would they want to keep it, and why would they want to put it on occasional display?
What's interesting, too, is if you go back to 2004, Notre Dame's own campus newspaper, Notre Dame was sued by the Potawatomi Indians. Now, they're the main native tribe here in the area, and part of Notre Dame's campus lies on land that the Potawatomis claim were stolen. And so if we really wanted to be consistent, I suppose we'd have to start tearing down portions of the university there and turn it back over to the tribe, right?
Oh, my goodness. But do you realize where all of this could go? And does Reverend Jenkins, like you said, he's a nice guy. I haven't met him, but does he realize where this could go? Because if you're going to kowtow to political correctness, somebody certainly sometime is going to say, well, those images of Jesus you've got on campus, I'd be willing to bet you've probably seen them, Casey. They're probably too white. They don't look like, like an Aramaic Jesus. They don't look Middle Eastern, so we better take down surfer Jesus and put up, more of a Middle Eastern Jesus. I mean, and by the way, all that blood coming off his hands on the crucifixion, that's really offensive, and it's graphic. You should get rid of that image as well.
Well, we've got a thing called Touchdown Jesus, which is a massive mural of Jesus, which you can see at Notre Dame's football stadium. Any Notre Dame football fan is very aware of this, and he's a little bit more on the pale complexion there, Lars.
He's more toward the California Jesus.
Yeah, a little bit more towards that, right? So obviously people will complain about that stuff, but this has been par for the course. I keep asking people, like, do you have any idea how important Columbus has been to human history? The stuff that he learned in his I think it was 4 expeditions to the New World, I believe. The stuff that he learned about navigating those waters, we still use for trade routes today. And if you really want to get consistent and say, oh, genocide this, slavery that, okay, well, so are the tribes that were here before he got here. They were committing genocide. They were committing slavery. There was cannibalism. There's a bunch of other stuff, too, that have happened that are well documented in the history of the New World. And, at what point do we say which ones we're going to honor and celebrate and the others not? But like I said, his contribution to society and our advancements as human beings is undeniable. And whether you want to agree with everything that he did way back in the 1400s, that's fine. You can have that discussion, but denying his accomplishments and what they've meant to us as a people is ridiculous.
Well, and let me ask you about this, because at the heart of it, I know just like you with your boss and me with my boss, we got to figure out a way to make things pencil. And he had to make things pencil for Isabella because he couldn't very well ask her for all these resources and then say, oh, and by the way, you're just doing it for the heck of it. But wasn't one of Columbus's stated aims to try to spread the word to other parts of the world, in addition to finding the new trade route? But that was the way he was making it pencil, or do I remember that incorrectly?
No, part of that was exactly, you're 100% right. He treated a lot of those natives, by the way, very, very well. Some of them are only still alive as people because they formed an alliance with him and they were being wiped out by rival tribes. You know, these are all things that are completely ignored. If you look back at our history, Lars, look at what they're doing with the Founding Fathers. Not to compare Columbus with the Founding Fathers, but they're dehumanizing them, they're illegitimizing them, they're doing the same with Columbus. And that's what tyrants do when they go in and they conquer a new territory. They destroy all of the old world, all of the statues, the culture, all of that made the people unique to that particular area in order to go ahead and build a new one. And what's going to happen is we're going to lose great swaths of our history if this type of stuff continues. And we're going to lose out on the benefits of that. You know, we got to take the good with the bad. You know, there's a lot of bad that happened, but I got news for everybody. Slavery and genocide happen in every single corner of the world from people of all colors. This is not something that was unique to the Europeans. This is something that was happening here in the New World long before Columbus ever got here.
I'm talking to Casey Hendrickson, who's a great friend and a fellow talk show host at 95.3 MNC in Indiana. So the last question is anybody pushing back hard on this?
Not right now. My assumption is that you'll probably have a little pushback. You know, the community's upset. I mean, look at my phone calls today. They were furious, especially considering only 300 students signed a petition. But, you know, the Reverend Jenkins, he's estimated to be out within the next couple of years and is probably looking to just keep the peace as long as he can and get out of there. And then when that happens, who knows what the new administration is going to do. But, you know, you're not going to see any real big pushback here because Notre Dame basically can do whatever they want in this community. And they're gonna get away with it. And whether or not the students will have any kind of a demonstration or something of that nature, we'll have to see. But right now, there isn't any real rumblings of that.
Well, Casey, I hope that you and I are in the business long enough. These days, everything surprises me, but I think, well, okay, we thought it was going to happen one of these days. One of these days, Casey, somebody's going to suggest that the Virgin Mary may not have fully consented to have that child. It wasn't her choice after all, and that she is going to be an emblem of lack of consent in creating a baby, and they'll say she's got to be taken down too. Thanks so much for what you do with the people in Michiana and at 95.3 MNC, Casey, and it's always a pleasure to have you on.
Always good to talk to you and your audience, bud.
Take care now. That is
Hey, Casey, we always appreciate the phone call.
Hey, man, my pleasure. Thank you much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye-bye.